Pete, my name's Laurence.
Right, Laurence, Pete.
And I heard you've discovered what your name is, your surname.
Yes.
It's now
O'Connor.
O'Connor. And what was it before?
Originally, it was Connor.
Connor. And how did you discover this?
I found my mum and dad's wedding licence because I've got all the papers at home somewhere, and on it says Bernard Connor to be known as from this date as O'Connor.
Really?
Yeah. I was absolutely gobsmacked.
Gosh. So you obviously have been a miner in your life.
Oh yeah.
How many years did you?
Oof. I would say on and off at least 30.
30 years.
Yeah, at least.
And what was your colliery?
I was there for March out, I was there for March in. Then I took voluntary redundancy about a year after March back.
When you say march back, you mean the strike?
The strike, yeah, when they marched back, walk back, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I did everything. I started in pit bottom on haulage when it was the old tubs.
Yeah.
Pony driving.
How long ago was this?
Oh, I'd have been 16, 17.
So how old are you now?
77, 78 in April.
Yeah. Fantastic. And so what, you're talking late 60s?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got. I've fetched this for you to have a look at. It's no
Snout?
brilliant, but it's just.
You said snout. Snuff. Snuff.
It's when we used to have to go and do the training for the oil lamps for the gas testing.
All right.
And it's got Connor on here, I think, because the old guy what did the test, that's got dates on it. And that was every 4 years, so if you go back 4 years before that, self-rescuers, you were like a silver case, what you had on your belt.
Oh, I see, yeah. 1985.
Oh, you come back 4 years before that as well, because it was every 4 years.
Gosh.
So,
Brilliant.
well, what it was, I wanted to go in the army because my cousin and a lot of friends joined up, but you had to get your parents' signature. And my father was going to sign for me, but my mother said, if you sign that, I'm leaving you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I said, right then, well, I'm going down to pit with the rest of the lads, because everybody I knew worked in pits. I mean, all lads, it was Pit Village, Woodlands.
Yeah.
And we were actually called the Queen's Colliery, because coal from Broadwood was hand-picked for Buckingham Palace.
Hand-picked?
Hand-picked.
You really think it was?
Yeah, well, when it came out of the pits, that is, when it got into what they call the screens and on the pit top where it was washed, where they washed the muck away from the coal, then they used to pick the lumps out for Buckingham Palace.
Really?
Hand-picked, yeah. She never knighted any of us, like, but...
I'm saying you needed it, for God's sake. So are you a Yorkshire man? Is it a Yorkshire family, or is it?
Oh, I'm a Yorkshireman.
Yeah.
When I was in Australia, they used to say, oh, you sound like a Welshman. I used to say, I'm a Yorkshireman, I'm proud of it, and don't forget it. So I used to put it on deliberately when I was in Australia.
So, Alex, let's just go back to the beginning then. So you went into the mine as a youngster from school, I imagine?
Yeah.
Straight from school?
Yeah, near enough, yeah.
And how many years did you spend in the mine at that point?
Altogether, it's got to be over 30 years.
Crikey, so you did 30 years in the mine?
Yeah, I did bits and bobs in between when we...
So where does Australia fit into all that?
Well, when I lost the first wife, I lost her with cancer, the last thing she says to me, you don't stop on your own. You're no good on your own, which I've got to admit is true. But I was going out every night getting drunk. And I mean drunk, I don't mean having a drink, I mean drunk.
Okay.
I really took it to heart. And I staggered in one night, and youngest daughter says, Dad, there's a lady in Australia who wants to talk to you. I said, I don't know anybody in Australia. She said, no, she said it's on, Facebook or something, whatever they call it.
Which is quite recent.
2004.
Okay.
That's first wife.
Right.
And they had them both done the same, so they were no.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got back from Australia November 2011. So I owned my house at Woodlands, pit house, when they sold the houses, I bought it. And I've finished up now, I'm in a council bungalow, called Fogey's Bungalow. Suppose it's better than that.
So you had someone in Australia wanting to get in touch with you?
Oh no, they were trying to find relations, and my daughter says, well, if you want me, dad'll help you, volunteering for me. And so I talked to her on Facebook, whatever it is, that bloody thing. And after a while, he invited her over, and she wanted to come over, no strings attached, and we're trying to find some family. We found 2 relations, and I went back with her. Because she was here 3 months, I went back with her. We got married in back garden in Australia.
Good God.
In a bandana, a tiger print shirt, and a pair of 3/4 short weather over there. That's all you wanted. But, oh, it was a beautiful country, but I can't remember any places I went.
Really?
People say, where did you go, Pete? And I know I went to Ayers Rock. And I know we went up what they call top end, up north.
Yeah.
Because I went with two of their brothers, they took me fishing in swamps.
Really, with the crocodiles?
Yeah, with rod and line. And I'm casting in, I got hooked and I thought I were on a log. And I'm wading in, following my line down. And I hear this voice shout, "Tommy, what are you doing?" I said, "Get me hook out of that log." He said, "That's not a log, it's a croc."
Really?
I was looking at it was afternoon and they were sleeping.
No.
But I tell you what, they say God walked on water, I run on it.
Really?
I never went in sea or anywhere else after that while I was over there.
So did you see it?
Oh,
Was it awake by you? Was it awake
well,
by you?
it was staring.
Because, I mean, they are really dangerous. They're very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not a joke, is it?
No.
I was in Australia last year and they were talking about the exact same crocodile. And they were bushmen.
Yeah.
And they said the scariest thing in the world is to see the 2 eyes. You were on the side of the water.
Yeah, the 2
see
eyes.
the 2 eyes just sink down so slowly
Yeah.
that you know they've spotted you.
Yeah, and they're coming
And
for
they
you.
want to kill you, basically. They said that's the worst feeling.
Sure.
Chills down your spine. So, just to go, I don't want to go delve deep, but you say you had grief
Stress.
stress.
Yeah. That's what they say has made me lose. Because I had 2 fits into her. That poor bugger, all she's had is a spastic.
Oh.
That's what I call me, and she said, "You don't cope like you're not." I said, "Well, I can't do out. I can't lift this arm. I've got a plastic shoulder joint in here since I come back. I had 36 of them metal clips round here."
Really? You fell on it, did you, wasn't it?
Well, apparently, when I was one that fits, I fell out of bed. And, I mean, I didn't know what about it, obviously. Next thing I know, I'm in hospital, they're pushing me down the corridor on in one of them bloody chairs.
Are you there? Are you there witnessing?
Yeah. And I said, "Oh, this shoulder hurts. So I'll take you for an x-ray." And he said, "Come out and socket and smashed in 3 places." So they had to put a plastic shoulder in. But they're saying I did it in the hospital bed. I was trained and I'd got out the restraints somehow, but bull. Bull.
So where did your parents, what sort of upbringing did you have?
Oh, magic.
Magic?
Magic, yeah. They were brilliant parents. They'd do we out so we got something. Well, my mum, they fetched my dad out at pits, and I'd be 20, just coming up 21. But nobody told him why, and he walked all the way home from pit. Got to the front door, and one of the neighbours says, "Bernard, we're sorry to tell you, Lil's died."
His wife?
Yeah. And that's when he got to know, when he got to do it. And then 5 or 6 years later, he started courting a lady what they'd both known for years. And it was in Park Club with her, Park Woodlands Park Club. And she got a call, the father was on his last legs. So she went up, and my father said, I'll come up straight from club. He walked up, he won't let us give him a lift. And coming back, it's her daughter and son-in-law picked him up. They had a little woman imp, but they had a little 3-month-old baby. So my father said, you sit in back with Babby and I'll sit in front. You know, he never sat in front with anybody but me. And they come in that broad highway, new roundabout, and the bloke come powering down road in an old Moggy 1000 van, smashed into the back of them and killed my father and the driver outright. So I went out, we got a knock on the door, and Bobby stood at the door. He says, Mr. O'Connor? I said, yeah. He says, well, I come to tell you your dad's dead. I said, I've just left him, we're off. And then the Sam come over at Bobby's head and threw something into it. He says, yes, he is, that's my dad's wallet. He says, idiots just smashed them into it at bottom of Broad Highway roundabout there. And so we'd left him 10 minutes and he'd gone.
And who else? The driver as well?
The driver of the little one and my dad. And the kid driving the van wasn't 8. And the backup van was full of empty whiskey bottles, vodka bottles, all sorts. But he was a farmer's son at the time, rich farmer's son at the time. And he got a 12-month ban and a fine. Killed 2 people. But, you know what they say, so's life. You got nose right anyway.
Getting there. We're enjoying that.
Yes, nose is right. My mother's nose, that. And that scar down my nose. I lived on 3rd, because I was born on 3rd Avenue at Woodlands. Old pit house and toilet was outside.
Yeah.
And I was sat on the toilet and the idiot from next door but one opened the toilet door, smacked me on the Bridget nose with a seaside spade. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know.
So you were in an outside loo, coming out of it?
No, I was sat.
Sat?
And
And a neighbour came in and hit you over the head with a shovel?
Straight up, there was still a scar there.
And left?
Yeah.
Without an explanation?
No, they were a bit loopy, all family, so.
I have to say, you're giving me some extraordinary stories.
And they're all true.
Yeah.
Tommy Peter, you made to call you over there, wasn't
Yeah.
Will they call you?
No, Pete the Pom.
Pete the Pom.
Pete the Pom.
In Australia, Pete the Pom.
So do you know how many years you were in Australia for?
Yeah, 7.
7 years.
Yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful country.
And you didn't work out there?
No, I was. Where did I go? Went over in 2000. What's that? 2004. Went
Yeah,
2004. So I'll be past retiring age then. But I got my retirement money from and my payoff from pit, so then the pound were really, they were like worth 3 or 4 of their dollars. So,
Right, yes.
So I was basically, if you like, rich.
Hmm. How did that feel after so many years of...
Bloody magic.
I bet it did. So you weren't working and you had loads of money?
Yeah.
In a hot country?
Yeah.
With a new lady?
Well, it's a beautiful country. I mean, what I can remember, apart from them bloody alligators.
Yeah. Well, that's even quite exciting.
Oh, it was. But they used to say, oh, where are you Welsh or are you a Geordie? So I used to get annoyed and put the accent on even more. said, no, I'm a bloody Yorkshireman, I'm proud on it.
Yeah? It's a good sign. I think we're still in the first hour, so that's a good sign. If you can get the way the head sits right, you get a long way to it.
Not falling asleep, are you?
Not yet.
We haven't had that yet. We nearly had one yesterday. I did my grandfather once, and he fell asleep. He was like that. And I just did a portrait of him. I've still got it. It's an ashtray. I used to do a lot of him because he was, like you, he was a grandfather, and he would be happy to sit around for me.
What were it? 27 grandkids, 23 great-grandkids, and 4 great-great-grandkids.
Really? How many kids did you have?
Well, we had 8, but from different managers. But they were all, I think oldest were only about 8 when we got together, me and Shirley got together. So it's always been mum and dad, and nobody's ever said stepdad or stepmother, it's always been mum, dad, always. So if anybody said how many you got, I said just say 8 kids. As far as I'm concerned, they were my kids. We're thinking of having one.
I'm not surprised, I can see.
I'd need instruction book.
Can't take you nowhere.
You can't, no.
You said you can take me back to apologise.
Oh dear.
Big friendly giant.
A friendly giant. BFG.
He would know he'd not seen me.
I've seen you, little friendly giant. Yeah, believe it or not, I used to be 17 stone.
17 stone?
Yep,
Really?
yep.
How come?
Horribly glad.
Really?
A lot of it from working at pace, doing physical work.
Was it all muscle?
Yep, believe it or not.
17 stone?
Well, 16, sorry, it was 16.
Half an hour left.
Thank you.
What time's club open?
You should know.
Timekeeper does. We don't go out Thursday nights. It's an in night, innit, kiddie?
I'm trying to get his smile and his slight sadness as well. A head with two stories. All right, what's going on there?
How many have you had to do today?
3, this is the third today,
Ah,
6 in 2 days. It's intense.
You're not kidding.
Mm?
I say you're not kidding.
Yeah. Back to my foundry tomorrow,
Where's that at?
Suffolk in East
Suffolk?
Anglia.
Bloody hell.
yeah.
Foreigner.
I'm a foreigner, I'm sorry. I know you're the best in the world and all that lot.
I've got 2 daughters in Southend.
All right. You go down and see him?
We were doing, but it's difficult at times. Just at the moment, I'm going through a bit of a rough patch. But, one of them's a lesbian, and she's legally married to a partner. And
She's a lesbian.
yeah, but she's legally married to a partner.
Okay.
And her brother and woman he went with, both druggy alkies, had, is it 8 kids? And they were going to get split up and put in homes, and then their partners legally adopted them.
How many?
I think there's 7 or 8 of them. And they're absolutely thriving, aren't they?
Wow.
She's took referees, coaching lessons and all sorts.
Really?
Got a football team, started with him, and she's absolutely brilliant with him.
Gosh.
Somebody said, what do you think of your daughter? I said, what do you mean? Well, because she's like that. I said, she's like what? I said, she's normal. She's bringing her family up, she's doing really, really well with her. You know, kids have never looked as well. To get well fed. They take them all over bloody well for holidays.
Brilliant.
We've got 15 minutes left.
15 minutes. Right.
Vodka and Coke, please.
Last orders.
Oh, that's cool.
Stop pulling me tabs. You can't get over it. It makes it look so bloody easy, doesn't it? I can't even knock a nail in straight.
Dare say Laurence can't knock a nail straight.
My son was so bad at DT, design technology. They said, parents, we went to see him at parents' evening, and I said, how's he doing? He said, well, he's all right, but you know, he's not really with it. He's more in the head than the boy. He said, we had to give him extra lessons at lunchtime, banging nails in bits of wood. He just spent his lunchtime trying to bang a nail in a bit of wood.
Well, And it weren't my fault this time.
I think I'm done.
Oh, fabulous.
Hello, Peter.
Hey, mate. How you
Now
doing?
there's two of you.
Oh, we're in a club. Hey, you can take him to the club, can't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. Sitting on the table saying, pint for me and half for him.
Just going to carry his head round.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, that. It's not
Oh,
quite as
dear.
good looking, like, but it's
Not
all right.
quite, but I mean,
Not
how can
quite.
you ever get anywhere near perfection, hey?
That's brilliant.
The two of us.
Well, there's two of you now.